Hi everyone, this is Sage Blue. Having my latest race here in Driveclub. Now it's the same track that I'd done the previous time where I raced in the Ferrari California. And so this is Sinclair Pass in Canada. If you're going to look for it, it's quite a unique track from what I can tell. I haven't seen all the tracks in Driveclub obviously, but they do vary a lot. Not just atmosphere, but the nature of the corners and the elevations, that sort of thing. They do vary quite a lot. Now, this race I'm having in the Renault Clio RS. All the AI are Renault Clio RSs as well, just to keep the field as equal as possible, to make it as fair as possible. And also so that Driveclub, if I chose to have a mixed race where there's mixed cars in the field, it doesn't pick a leader where they have a lot more top end speed than I do, and even at the same time have much better grip as well. So having quite a good race here. I've passed one AI car so far, trying to find my way through the next ones. I like how the AI behaves on this track. It's generally better than a lot of the other tracks that I've tested. The scenery helps as well, the shadows, everything. The time of day matters a lot obviously for this sort of thing. And you really have to bide your time sometimes. Now the AI car just then, that blue one ahead of me, did not know that I was diving down the inside then and just turned in on me. So it's sometimes the AI still does that. There's tracks where they do it a heck of a lot. It's really difficult to avoid the AI cars while you're passing them. So just keep that in mind. The good thing is the AI is incredibly competitive in terms of speed. So if you compare it to something like Gran Turismo 6, for example, the AI is quite easily beatable unless you're racing a car that's much better than your own. However, if you're racing a car that's has the equal model of yours, then chances are you're going to just drive away and have a very easy race if you're familiar with Gran Turismo 6. And so going through the corners, I'm still learning this track quite a bit, so I'm just sort of hovering behind this green vehicle at the moment and trying to find my way around, learning some moves that I'm making, like here right now, and just clipping the barrier a bit. It's finding some of the lines I'm taking to try and find a way by is not the best way to go about it. So it does help to just have some patience and just stay in line behind them, and once you see an opening, to go for it. Now it's easier said than done obviously, but once you get used to this track, you'll find your way. This corner for instance, I tend to find a good way to pass them. I do have a bit more speed than they do in that right-hander that we've just passed. This upcoming right-hander here is also another good opportunity to just spurt on the accelerator if you can and not lose the tail. However, they cover the line there as well, so it's quite good racing. Now going around the outside of the second placed car, and I'm through. So now battling for the lead, getting a good slipstream, now pulling out and getting past the leader as well. I wouldn't mind seeing this track during sunset or something. I'm sure it'll look a lot different, and in wet weather conditions. I've been trying out some of the different weather conditions, whether it's light rain, storm rain, that sort of thing, and it makes quite a huge difference. And if you look at this in dry conditions, driving this Renault Clio RS, the grip right now is quite a bit better than it was at the start of the race. At the start of the race, at least for the first couple of laps, when you go through high speed corners, and it's easy to get the feel that you can get more speed out of the car. You could be thinking going into it you're almost at the limit, but while you're mid corner, I can't help feeling that I can get more out of it. So, you know, I go for a bit more speed during mid-corner, and like just now the tail was just slightly tailing out a bit, and that was actually not too bad. But if you go just a touch too fast through the corners, the tail will just kick out too much, or you could just understeer, but generally the tail just kicks out a lot, and the car feels like it's skating on ice. It really does in these fast corners. So it takes a few laps for the tyres to warm up, I think, from memory, and once that happens you generally get a better feel and can go faster through the corners. The car feels a lot more like a bit of a race car, I suppose, and it's quite a nice car to drive. There's a fair bit of speed, as you can see. Obviously it's not a supercar or anything, however it is quite a lot of fun to drive, and can demand a bit out of you in the first few laps when the tyres are really cold. Like I said, it can feel like you're skating on ice if you're going too fast through the faster corners, and sometimes if you go too fast through the slower corners, the car can really twitch a lot, and you can wash off a lot of speeds in corners like these. And when you do that, especially when the corner leads onto a hill, you'll just find your AI who are ahead of you just keep driving off into the distance and build up quickly a second or two lead on you, just from washing off too much speed in one corner. So that's another thing I wanted to mention with this car. You don't want to wash off too much speed in high corners, because the time it takes to make up that lost speed takes quite a while. It's not like a supercar where you can just quickly gather that speed back up. So just keep that in mind. Try and maintain speed and stability through your corners and consistency as much as you can. If you can do that, then this car's quite rewarding and it's a fair bit of fun to drive. I'm sure many of you would enjoy it. Now, the race, we're not too far from the finish, just a few more corners left. I hope you enjoyed this race and some of the tips that I've just offered from the experiences that I've had with this. I hope it helps. And if you like this video and others, don't forget to subscribe. There's plenty more videos to come, and I'll see you next time.